What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another update for the week. I am feeling a little bit sick for the past week and a half or so, voice is dying, but I want to give you guys an update because it is a 1 year mark on the tank. I wanted to show you guys how the cores are looking, some of the minor updates on what's going on with the tank. Before we jump into the livestock, let's go ahead and talk about the ICP test. So I did send off an ICP test. I did get results in, and unfortunately some of the parameters did elevate, and one of them that was really concerning was zinc. And I noticed that a lot of these parameters that were kind of high in terms of the elements were coming from the RO water system. So recently I did switch to a brute like trash can. I did kind of rinse it out, wash it with just water, and wiped it down. I'm thinking my RO DI unit, my 4-stage, is not enough to filter out whatever's in the tap water. So I went ahead and upgraded to a 7-stage, so that way I can divvy up the DI resin portion to 2 bigger portion and then a third one that's a mix. Because right now I just have a mix, and I think the mix, a portion of it is getting depleted a lot more, or getting used up a lot more, and then it doesn't completely turn the brown color. And so I leave it in there for a while, and I noticed that some of the elements like zinc or whatever is like creeping up a lot. Switch to that and see hopefully if that will work, a 7-stage versus a 4-stage. Since I was upgrading, I did decide to up the production rate too. So it was a 150 gallon. I would decided to go up to a 200 gallon. Yeah, it's 50 gallon more, so it's just a little bit faster than my old one, so we'll see what happens there. Well, we're seeing a little fighting over here between the blueface and the clownfish. This clownfish always gets picked on. Poor clownfish. He's the odd one out. So we have these 3 here. Well, he shouldn't be the odd one out, but anyways, we have these 3 here, and they always this one guy here gets picked on for whatever reason. Smallest one, and I don't know, just doesn't like him or whatever, and just chases him around, hides him in the corner. And he normally hides in that little nem right there. There used to be a nem that's at right here. Anyways, you see that? They're just picking on him, scaring him off. I don't know why. But anyways, so that's what's up with the ICP. There's some other stuff that are pretty much the same as previous. My iodine's still low, but it's definitely went up since the last one, which was 6 months ago. So I think I'm gonna up my dose. I was doing basically 1 drop every week. I'm gonna do 2 drops every week, and I think that's gonna bring us to target. There's some other minor elements that I have to account for the moonshiner that's starting to deplete. So I'll have to look those up once I figure out what's going on with the zinc in the tank. So the zinc in the tank right now is really high, right? So I'm going to buy a Detox little medicine what you throw in here. I haven't used it before, but I was reading online. You can use a pad, basically a poly pad. I've done that in the past, but I've noticed that it doesn't bring everything down completely. It did bring my aluminum. My aluminum was really high previously, and I used that, and it brought it down to like almost like unreadable levels. There's still a little bit of aluminum in the water, so I'm gonna still have to continue using that, but it seems like that pad option does work. I'm gonna use this Detox. It basically is a liquid you put into the tank. It captures like the heavy metals in the tank. You remove all your carbon, you turn off your UV sterilizer, etc. 3 days later, you put in new carbon, and the new carbon is supposed to filter out everything. So hopefully this Detox is going to help remove all these heavy metals that are in the tank currently. And then also I am going to, once I switch the RO DI unit to the 7-stage, hopefully that will fix the zinc being introduced into the tank in the first place. It's definitely coming out of my RO system. All of the bad parameters are coming out of there, so it's definitely that. So once I get that addressed, we'll hopefully get some growth in the corals. You'll notice a lot of the growth in the corals are pretty much stagnant. I mean, compared to like last year, definitely it's fast, but I've seen other tanks or other people grow a lot faster. You'll notice, my aquaporos, obviously not all my conditions, obviously my parameters aren't optimal right now for the aquaporos, hence it not growing really well or growing really fast. I would say it's really stagnant for it. Even for the digi is pretty stagnant right now. But everything else I would say is okay. Like even the mushrooms are growing pretty good, but I've noticed that it kind of just tapered off or peaked off a little bit. So I'm kind of interested to see if the zinc is causing it to preventing it to grow. I'm reading online that zinc prevents growth in corals as well if you have too much zinc. Okay, so let's jump into the corals real quick. Nothing in that box over there. We have nothing new really in the tank. I did put in some of these digis on top of here just because the fish would knock them off. I had a couple of new ones over there. I put some onto the rock just to kind of fill it up for now because I feel like it's a little bit empty. Same thing with this. If this ever gets knocked out or this over here, I'm going to put some more on there, but so far we haven't had any other pieces get knocked down by the fish. Let's kind of go over the corals, show you guys what are some of the new ones. So I'm starting to gravitate more towards mushrooms. It's just because it's easier to grow. There's a lot of variety. There's a lot of different colors, and you know, they're pretty awesome. So this side here used to be where the goby was digging up the hole. It will make a pretty big and steep hill here, and I wanted to grow, or I needed more area here to grow mushrooms. So I moved the little house way back there. So he's back there. He's already dug a hole back there, but he's also trying to dig another hole over here, thinking that he can make another home over here. But obviously there's no connector piece here for him to do. But anyways, he's back there now. This is the Powerball. The bounce on the Powerball hasn't come out yet, but it's definitely gotten a lot bigger. When I first got it, it was like probably about that size. As you can see, it's getting pretty big. These two are also new. This is a King Kong. So I bought a King Kong just to kind of see what it would look like when it gets a little bit older. But I'm thinking that this guy here, when I first bought it, I think it is a Godzilla. But it's not an OG Godzilla because the color is different. Because I'll show you what an OG Godzilla looks like. And it's not a Godzilla bounce because those are a little bit different too. So I think I got 3 different Godzillas, and this is probably from a different vendor. So that's why the color is a little bit off. But looking at everything else, it looks like a Godzilla. So this is a baby of that Godzilla that first spawned off of here. So we got a little baby here. This is a RRC Doughboy. This is a pretty nice mushroom when it kind of gets to this size. Like the pattern looks pretty cool. So I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like. Also, all these little babies, they all look the same when they're babies. Like all the colors and stuff. Same with the King Kong. The King Kong looks like a Godzilla. And then this guy looks like one of these guys. But we'll see as they grow up. This guy in here is a Cali kid that got split. It got naturally split. So here's the Cali kid that I had originally. I had 1, and it split by itself naturally to 2. And I took half of it and I put it over here. I'm trying to get it to stick on a bigger disc before I can kind of let it go, but it's not wanting to stick right now. So we'll let it do its thing over there. This is a purple monster mushroom. This guy is not wanting to stick to any rocks or open up. So it's been like that for, I want to say, almost close to a month now. So I'm kind of starting to be concerned in terms of if it's going to expand or grow or whatever. So kind of worried about that guy a little bit. This guy I got for free. I don't know what it is, but it's just a free mushroom on some of the orders. This guy here is a OG bounce. This is WWC OG bounce. This guy back here is a boogeyman. This is a TNT boogeyman. In here, you can't really see it. It's another mushroom. It's a TNT Agent Orange mushroom. And then over there in the back is a Candy Crush. And then this guy, you've already seen. This is the OG Godzilla bounce. This is the baby back here. So we got 2. So it's pretty much going to look similar to this, except for these guys in the back here. It's going to have a lot bigger like bounces similar to these guys here. So I'm hoping to see that when this guy grows out. This is a new one as well. I got for free. I don't know what it is exactly, but it looks pretty cool. The aquaporos at the top. The digi in the back is still looking good. The PC rainbow is starting to color up. We're starting to see different colors It was just a solid green before, but now we're seeing a little bit different colors to it. So I'm happy to see that. This guy's starting to encrust a little bit. Right? Over here, the green slimer has 3 now. It used to just have that 1 stick. Now it has 2 that's playing in the back. Another digi back here. There is that WWC grafted Monty. It's actually really, really big. I'm happy to see that. Actually, I'll show you the other one here. This is the TSA one. That's really nice. It's starting to grow slowly. The urchins are chilling. They're doing a good job, actually. I haven't seen that crazy hair algae like this, like that, in any of the rocks. We only have 3 in here right now. Or I'm sorry, 4 maybe. The rest are in the sump, trying to help out the sump. So here is the jawbreaker with the baby. The baby's starting to grow slowly. So here's the other mushroom. I flipped the rock around because the baby was on one side, but it wasn't getting light because of the way the rock was sitting. So I flipped it so that the baby would get some light so it can actually grow. That's the kryptonite. On the back there, you can't really see it. This guy's a new one. This is the Cali Kid Godzilla, not bounce. This is basically the OG Godzilla without the bounce. So it's basically supposed to be exactly like this guy, minus the bounce around the outer rim of the mushroom when it grows bigger. Now, I was talking to the owner, and he said that the bounce is just a variant of the OG, which is this one here. And there is probably a 40% chance that this guy can develop the bounce, or even the babies can develop the bounce, because his bounce version is pretty much from the original one anyways. So it's very interesting. And so all these Godzillas that I bought or seen online is just pretty much a variant of each other. And this one obviously is just from a different vendor. The coloration is just completely different. As you can see, more pink, and this one is like more green on the outside, right? And this one over here is a little more pink, but also you can see more green on the rims or on the edge of the mushroom. Back here is the magic carpet. Pull out that magic carpet from, it was in like a small, like 1-inch frag piece, a small one. And so I opened it, so I actually took it off, put it in a 3-inch disc, and look at it now, it's huge. And in the process, it had a split, pretty much. And that split is in here. Yeah, you can see it from here a little bit better. There's a little baby right there. I'm trying to get it to kind of cling on to that little disc. That one's a 2-inch disc. Once that's clinged on, I'll just take it out. And then the last mushroom is a Super Mario mushroom. It's also from TNT. And that one's already, mounted on there, but I just wanted to make sure it's recovering from the shipment and whatnot. So that one's chilling there. And then I also got this one for free. This is Tequila Sunrise mushroom from the order. I did have another one, but unfortunately that one was on a disc over here, and then it was mounted, and then like all of a sudden it was not mounted the next day. So like it's blown somewhere in the tank somewhere, and I haven't been able to find it for a week now. So it's either gone or it's somewhere in the tank. If I ever find it, I'll show you guys what it looks like, but you probably won't be able to find it. This guy's a frag from this one here, the baby. It's like a little dot on top there. So that Godzilla, the OG Godzilla, has a baby. The fish are doing really good. That's the newest addition to the tank on the last couple updates, is that wrasse. And the wrasse is doing pretty good with everyone here. So the blue face is starting to kind of come out a little bit more, but it's probably the shyest fish out of all the other fish that we've had in the tank. You'll notice that from time to time it'll be in between the rock and the back a lot. The only time it's actually up here is if it's thinking that we're going to feed it, either from here or if I'm up here. But other than that, it's just running in the back. But it's starting to get a little bit bigger. You know, it's getting chunkier. Look at this body, pretty chunky. This guy's getting a little thin in the abdomen. You feed him a little bit more. Maybe the blue tank's just eating everything. That's why it's just so chunky over there. But everyone else is doing good. Even the cleaner wrasse. This guy's one of the harder ones to keep. It's like red. Like, it's just picky at eating and whatnot. But, you know, I got really fortunate with this guy. There's plenty of food for it to eat. And then also, like, obviously, you know, the blue tang is known to carry random stuff even through quarantines and whatnot. So it's been like nipping and picking whatever parasites potentially on the blue tang and other fish. So I think it's kind of a nice balance for that little cleaner wrasse where it gets a little bit of parasites and then it also gets a little bit of meaty food. So here in the sump, we did clean the sump earlier this week, so it's a lot cleaner. I removed a lot of the just unwanted algae. So there's a lot of unwanted algae growing on the actual blue macroalgae and then along the walls. I'm trying to get rid of as much of that as possible. So that's why I have a couple of these urchins in here to eat a lot of the nuisance algae. It's doing a pretty good job, but I think the algae is just growing a lot faster than the urchin can eat. So here, the clams real quick. The clams are looking really nice. That one is looking much bigger than the other two here. And then here is the Maxima clam. The Maxima clam is actually starting to open up a little bit better. I was a little bit worried about it for a little bit, but out of all these, the Maxima clam was the raw one, and these are the captured bred ones. So here's looking good there. Here is the, this is like just lights just on it. But we have King Kong baby, another one that kind of spawned it. This one was a free one, but it looked like it came in dead. So let's not go. It's just dead. And then here are some frags from the Digi, and this is the chalice that's just chilling, and this is the Monty that's recovering. This Monty is coming back to life. That was just, I think, the WWC OG, or is it the, yeah, this is just the WWC one. And we added in some new Dragon's Breath, which is starting to grow a little bit. It's a little slow. And then we have another one here. It has like dots in it. This is not a Dragon's Breath type, but it just has polka dots in it, which is kind of cool. Looking for that to grow out. Or it's, I think it's called an orange galaxy sometimes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the Hypnea, the blue Hypnea, has been growing really well for me. This is post the boot. So it was over here, and it was over here in that rack over there. I moved it to these two racks. It still has a lot of algae. A lot of it can just be shaken off. It just gets easily collected, just because the way it clings onto stuff. So it being a year for this tank, it's matured a little bit. I think it needs probably another solid year or two to mature really, really nicely, where a lot of this macroalgae will grow into the tank, establish really well, where a lot of this, nuisance algae will kind of disappear. And then, hopefully the next, couple weeks here, I'll figure out what's going on with the RO. Hopefully the next couple weeks here, we'll get the RO situated, where we're not adding any, zinc, additional zinc and aluminum and random iron or whatever into this, this tank. And then we can kind of get things established. And then we'll probably do another ICP test 6 months from now, just to kind of see where we're at. I wanted to do it once a year, but since it's kind of new and we're having a lot of issues with the tank, we'll just probably stick with every 6 months. We'll make minor adjustments as needed. Colorado sunburst, even is bouncing back. Although Colorado sunburst is no longer bleach, so it took about less than a year for it to recover, come back in color. We have a bunch of them over here just being held up here so that once they're sold, they'll be sold and just easier to move. But we have that giant one here. We have a little one here that's hidden. We have the little one back there. There's one over here. So we have a fair amount that's still in the tank, but I'm going to try to minimize that by only keeping a couple of them here, because they do and can take over the tank really, really fast. And obviously I'm trying to get a little nice mix reef going on here. And I don't mind a couple of nems, especially a couple of these big ones. We have maybe one or two over here. That'd be pretty nice. The back of the rocks. But yeah, we're gonna try to keep it to a minimum. But yeah, pretty much no more livestock in terms of fish in the tank. Everything else is just gonna stay put as is. We might get a couple more different mushrooms. I'm still keeping an eye out into a few more mushrooms that I've been wanting, but you know, I haven't seen in a while. If I do see it, I'll pull the trigger and try to get a couple more. Other than that, I think it's filled or pretty much full for the most part, because once we have these mushrooms established, they'll frag, you know, they'll get, you know, duplicates of itself, and you'll get tons and tons of these, you know, corals in the back here. Eventually, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of either this rock back here with all the Superman mushrooms, because we have way too many Superman mushrooms, or that one right there. We had 3. I got rid of 1. Then we need to get rid of another one because we have a lot of different other mushrooms in here that we need to grow out. And these Superman mushrooms, even though they're really nice, they're gonna outcompete the other nice mushrooms, like, you know, some of these jawbreakers and stuff like that. So yeah, so that is the 1 year mark of the tank. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed. Like always, till next one, guys. Peace. Here's the Detox medicine. It's 3 milliliters for every 100 liters. It's going to be about 19 some change. I'll do basically 2 of these. One of them will be a little bit shorter. I already removed the carbon. The carbon's gone. And we're gonna wait 3 days. Let's just shake this up real quick.